Ah, there you are, my little coward. Why won't you look at your captain, Idira? It's wrong. It's all wrong. Look at her, boy. My little Idira is utterly trapped in her visions. No matter. I will allay your doubts. Lord Captain? Idira turns her head to you, but her demented gaze only rests briefly on your face before sliding away. Up close, you can see that the base of one of Idira's temple implants has blackened and melted. No, wait, Lord Captain, Lady von Valencius. Idira raises her eyes to Theodora, who stands before her, tears streaming down Idira's cheeks. You came back. Theodora clucks her tongue in sympathy, reaching out to tenderly stroke Idira's hair. Poor little Idira, there. How could I not come? You were crying to me so desperately, your pleas carried to the very depths of the warp itself. The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face. Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch, or I'll drag the answer out of you myself. Theodora's fingers dig into Idira's scalp, meeting no resistance. Idira lets out a soul-chilling howl and tries to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything that could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I failed. Ah! Idira breaks into a strangled scream, and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Argenta wordlessly swings her weapon up and aims it at Idira, who is struggling in the monster's hold. The sister of battle looks at her without an ounce of doubt or mercy. Dude. Let Argenta just kill Idira here and now. Dogmatic, or tell her to stop. Again, it's the dogmatic choice. Keeping an unsanctioned psyker around is madness. It's true. It's super true. Like, the dogmatic choice. Idira is unsanctioned and she has finally lost it. And probably, yes, is her crying over the death of Theodora is probably what eventually caused this warp manifestation as an unsanctioned psyker. So the dogmatic choice would be to just kill her. But I also really don't like losing party members. And I'm not against iconoclast options. And I feel like there are ways we can resolve this peacefully without just killing Idira. But it's like, I never actually use her in the party, so her loss wouldn't be that terrible. We would just lose out on her, the rest of her storyline. Like, Argenta is definitely doing her duty. But I have to stop it. Like, I don't want Idira to die. At least for now. At some point, we may have to kill her anyway. Long term. Us going down a full dogmatic, or a generally dogmatic route. I feel like the non-dogmatic characters aren't going to have a happy ending. But for now, I don't think it's time that Idira has to die. So Argenta, stop. Argenta wrinkles her nose at your shouted command and lowers the weapon by a few centimeters, but she does not put it away. It's not surprising to me. Idira snap out of it for Vigdis. She is going out of her mind with worry about you. Fair, because they were friends. Idira, snap out of it or I'll shoot you myself. Coercion. Persuasion. Idira, I am your captain, not her. Listen to me and snap out of it. Kill Idira or watch what happens. We're definitely not going to just watch what happens. That's the... It'll turn out wrong. Probably not going to do kill Idira. We've got 95% there and 80% there. I'm wondering if this is just a guaranteed success option, because usually the skill options are better. But if we hadn't taken the time to talk to our crew and learn that she was friends with Vigdis, we probably wouldn't have this option. So I'm wondering if this is just a guaranteed win because we've taken that time, rather than having to do a roll. Granted, 95% isn't a bad roll. And I don't... Like, I feel like her and Vigdis had drifted apart, so I don't know, at least from my memory of that conversation, so I don't know how close she is here. We're gonna go the persuasion. It's the one I feel more guaranteed in, even though it is not a guaranteed roll. Idira, I'm your captain, not her. Listen to me and snap out of it. Idira shudders and goes limp. Then she blinks, disoriented, and looks at you. Lord Captain? Damn it! Theodora shoves the psyker away with a low snarl. The rogue trader's body begins to change, losing its human shape. Chaos will devour you. It will devour everyone responsible for my death. Die. Die for the delectation of my lord. Did all of the crew turn into... No. Okay, I thought some of the crew was turning into demons. Maybe some did, but not all of them. They are all against us, though. That's not ideal. Why are you guys against me? You're mutants. And being mentally manipulated. Are you all mutants? You just have an entire crew of mutants? That seems like an odd choice. Alright, well, we want to take out the demons first, I think. Yeah, these ones say they're workers, but they're definitely demons. Blue horror. Really weird. Idira is in the initiative, but she's not in our party. So I wonder if she's just gonna act on her own. We need to stay away from these barrels. They explode, and that always turns out poorly for us. So we'll put Cassia probably back here with Ignatius and Argenta here. And then for our melee characters, I'm going to put Abelard here and hope he can charge the Warp Beast. Charge and then get a second attack. They aren't closely grouped enough for Cabela or Pascal to take advantage of, but maybe they will group up. I think we'll put Cabela back a touch. She can move around pretty easily, but I'd rather Pascal tank. I think that's the right call. And we'll just ignore these humans for now. Or, I guess, mutants. Hopefully when we take out all the demons, they will stop being mind-controlled. Although there's something to be said for they got mind-controlled super easily by demons. Heresy is in them and they all just need to die. I don't know. Start the battle. It's Cassia's turn as always, so we will put frontline here, I'm thinking. Then give our dodge and cover here.
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
And here for
Is
Argenta.
this a job for the serfs?
Perfect. I'm always a fan of bring it down on Ignatius to start the battle, just so he can light himself on fire without wasting his own turn for it. So let's do that.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
So ignite on yourself, and then orchestrate flames. That'll be the end of your turn. Back to you. You still got 2 more AP. I could try pulling a bunch of enemies around. See if they end up getting attacks opportunity. Not opposed to that idea. Sure. Okay. I think I'm fine with how that worked out. Killzone's no longer in a great spot. Well, it'll help Pascal with that fight. But no, I might... Not Killzone, frontline. I might move the frontline here instead. Maybe there. So we've got Voice of Command or Killzone Stratagem. Killzone helps our allies with dodge and parry, and potentially kill if people get low enough in health. Or I could do Notch of Purpose. Could do Notch of Purpose here, which would hit both of them, making them move. Sure.
If I may.
Nice. That'd be a very good spot for her to do the jump. Anyway, that's the end of Cassia's turn. So I could do Death from Above to land there. And then do Blade Dance. I think so. Death from Above to land here. Hit all of them. Then we do a Blade Dance.
The shadows will see.
And then we can have a follow-up strike. If I had left her there, then she would have had the ability to do this to hit all of them, maybe. Which would have been crazy. Didn't think about it. No, it looks like we can just do a single strike. So what could I do? I could do Raining Blood, aim for the opening to give an opening on this side for this creature. Aim for the opening here. Again, I don't know what it means when it's diagonal. I need to look that up, because diagonal doesn't make a ton of sense. It's supposed to have a marking where I'm standing. Yeah. We do Raining Blood. And then do a single strike here.
As a tenant still, death is a blessing.
Perfect. Got another death from above I could do now. Assassin makes an attack with the current weapon against an enemy. This attack cannot miss. Deals 50% more damage. It also deals additional damage equal to 25% of the target's missing wounds. Interesting. So we could get a pretty solid hit on one enemy. I could do death from above, but I can't land in my same spot, which is where the only place I could hit both of them. So I think I'll hold on to the death from above. In which case, we're just going to end our turn here. Pascal. What to do with you? Reckless Abandon would be fine. We could do Where It Hurts to get multiple hits of that fire. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't really care about... Machine Spirit Communion has never really struck me as being overly powerful. So what if we moved him to here? Reckless Abandon is free. Where It Hurts is free. So we use Analyze Enemies for one action. And then... Sweep for 2 more actions. We'll have 1 more action left. Maybe for joint analysis? I don't know. We'll do Analyze Enemies there. Then Reckless Abandon. Then Where It Hurts. And have you do a sweep here. Dude, did you see that damage? It's amazing. Critical hit. That's what it was. Hit for critical hit. 47 damage. Did multiple sets of the burning. And then also stuck bleeding on, and I think did multiple sets of that bleeding damage too. Yeah. Alright. And then joint analysis. Excellent. Ow.
I've suffered worse.
Your downfall.
Death to the weak.
Huh. She seemed to have a lot of actions on that turn.
Such is the will of chaos.
I mean, these workers are in for a bad time, as they're all approaching a navigator who can just open her eye and just vaporize all of them, basically. Well, let's mark you with a bounty.
This is unacceptable.
Oh, you can't because Idira has marked a bounty on them. Well, that's awkward. Is the bounty tied? The bounty is probably tied to a specific person. Okay. You would nearly kill it. You could run and gun and then finish it off. I'm good with that. Could also have you do claim the bounty. Do a shot. See what that does. It's down to 11 health left. Try claim the bounty.
I'll do it.
Fantastic. Split into 2 blue horrors. That was not part of my plan. Well, we could still run and gun to get more shots off. Let's mark these as bounty, since it's free to do. Those will be my 3 bounties for Argenta.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Run and gun. I don't want you shooting my allies, so... with the over-penetration. So, go after that one, I suppose. Okay, and then Furious Recital.
For the weak.
High momentum.
Were we at high momentum? I didn't use high momentum with Cabela or anyone else. Did Idira use my high momentum? Is that how she got so many actions? Seems likely. So that doesn't seem terribly fair. Ow. Okay, Ignatius's turn. I guess let's start lighting all of these horrors on fire. Starting with you. Out of sight? What? Could move forward, but then I wouldn't be in the zone. But that's probably fine. Let's light you on fire.
Problem for me.
Perfect. Then run and gun. Let's light you on fire. I could do Firestorm. It does so much damage to my allies, but it would kill all of them. No, let's light you on fire.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
So we just have you left. And I could just do Inflame. Which I think might just kill it. It would also hit ourselves, but we've seen in the past that doesn't do too much damage. Let's try it. Inflame.
Nothing I can't do.
I'll take the hit. It did die. Okay. All 3 demons are down. Few workers want to snap out of it. This is kind of your last chance.
All too easy.
I don't think I need to use either of those. Did we just skip a mutant's turn? I felt like there was a mutant before we got to Abelard. So maybe some of them are starting to snap out of it. I can hope. But as it is, I think Abelard's going to move here then charge to attack probably you. And then if you survive, we cleave. Is he standing in this square? No, I think he's charging into that square. Kind of hard to tell. No. Maybe he is going to that square. It's hard to tell through the green. But I think he is charging into the square I want. Yeah. Okay, that guy did survive, so now we do cleave. Right here.
It will be done. One fewer turn.
And then I think we can just end your turn. Are they all gonna run up here? Basically.
Out of my way!
I was hoping with the demons gone,
Chaos
they would
finds me.
get control of themselves, but no. Blinding grenade, come on.
Ruby flashes are choking me.
Alright, we could take out a handful of them with this. Making sure to miss Abelard, of course. Can't hit that one, it seems. That's probably a reasonable starting point.
As duty demands.
They didn't die, actually. Weird. I mean, she could do it again. Because that would kill them. Sure. Taking out 3 enemies. It's pretty good.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered. Witness the fury of House Orcelia.
That'll be the end of her turn. But I think giving an extra turn to Ignatius, which is my usual go-to, is, as usual, a good call.
Death in colors.
So if you went here, how many of them can you see? You can see him, can't see them. Are those the last 2 left? No. Oh, those are the last 2 left. Awkward. Cool. Then if you instead went a bit farther over, could you see them both? No, still out of sight. What about with run and gun?
Forge ahead.
That'll allow you to get all the way down to here. Do you have a line of sight then? Still no. Well, darn.
Already done.
This is going to be kind of a waste of a turn.
Been lost.
I can't target you. You're just barely out of line of sight. Grrr. Can't light the boxes or anything. Nope, I think you get to live, sir. For now. Cassius turns over. We are now on Cabela. Not sure that there's anything she could do. Oh, never mind. Look at that movement. She can run all the way over to here. Okay, sure. Just run to there, I guess. No, don't run past him. This is his weak side. So go there.
I bring mercy and retribution.
That movement is crazy. Alright. Blade dance. You guys should have snapped out of it. This is all on you. Then we'll jump to here. I guess I should have jumped to its weak side.
I shall not fail.
Not that I think it makes a ton of difference.
The shadows will see it done.
Idira stares at you with crazed eyes while clutching the wounds on her head. At first, no sound comes out of her moving lips. Then she coughs weakly and whispers, "Lord Captain, is it really you?" Argenta trains her weapon on Idira and watches you closely. Are you alright? This abomination claims that you called her. Is this true? And then 2 dogmatic options to kill Idira. Are you alright? Idira removes her hand from her head and tries to wipe away her tears, leaving bloody marks on her face. Then she touches her burnt-out implant, frowning. I don't know. It should be quiet, but in my head, the whispering's louder. It shouldn't be like that. This abomination claims that you called her. Is that true? Me? Did I? Yes, Lord Captain. I think it was me who called her. I can barely remember the voices, my old good whispers. They suddenly turned red, sharp. They started cutting, tearing, ripping me to pieces. I cried out. I called for help, and she came. Idira groans and clutches her head. Damn it, why are the voices making so much noise now? Shut up, shut up. Has anything like this ever happened to you before? Like this? Never. Well, there was something, but it was different. It wasn't as strong or as terrifying. Apparitions appeared, mechanisms malfunctioned, the crew lost their minds. Idira breaks off. The Lady Von Valencius knew about that. She said it was a small price to pay, an acceptable expense. No psykers immune to it. But what happened here was just a mistake. I won't do it again. Idira stretches her lips in a helpless smile, looking past you. There will be no more mistakes, Lord Captain. Argenta grits her teeth. This is not the first time this heretic has caused the death of her crew. Do you remember the incident on the mid-deck, Idira? What did those honest souls ever do to deserve such a fate? To be turned into mutants and attack their own families? You are a monster, a heretic. If you have any humanity left in you, admit what you are. Shut up, Idira moans. Quit your preaching. You're the worst out of everyone here. The previous rogue trader has been seen on the ship recently. Was that your doing? Yes, Ignatius. I did it a couple of times when I'd had too much to drink. At the time, I thought I heard her voice among all the whispers in my head. The voice was so sad, so clear. I couldn't help myself. I answered. I hoped I could reach her there. An intentional call. Yeah, that's not good. It's really not good. Idira bites her lip. Ever since she died, since I first heard her voice in my head, the whispers have gotten louder, clearer, harder to resist. Lore Warp succeeded. You hear the warp whispering in your head, and you answered, are you insane? Yeah. Warp tricked you. It played upon your feelings. I can understand why, but it's no excuse for what you did. Casually opening gateways to the warp when she gets drunk. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I really don't want to kill off party members. But dude, Idira, you've been a psyker your whole life. You should be very aware. Yeah. You hear the warp whispering in your head, and you answered, are you insane? Because she described her situation where she said it's like a cracked door, and she can listen at the crack in the door and hear the whispering and learn of the future. But she never opens the door. And this time it sounds like she was drunk or sad or whatever and just opened the door and invited a demon in. It's like, what are you doing? You don't know what it's like. The most important person in your life, who's now gone forever, suddenly starts talking to you inside your head. How could I not try to reach her? I had to. That's, again, the difference between a sanctioned psychic and an unsanctioned. We have been properly trained what to do in these circumstances. She's just feeling it out and doing what feels right without any proper training. She's just learned on her own. She falls silent for a moment. When next she begins to speak, it is in a barely audible whisper. I know what you're thinking. During the warp jump, when Lady Theodora came toward us, I keep thinking about that meeting. I keep blaming myself. Why didn't I divine it? Why didn't I stop her killer? Those thoughts have been playing at the back of my mind day after day, choking me with guilt. And do you know what? The one on the officer's deck. I don't know what that was, but that time here, but this time here, this was the product of my guilt, an accuser straight out of my own mind. So what am I supposed to do with you now? Idira turns sharply to face you. Ignatius, I know after everything I've done, you have no faith in my willpower or my strength, but I can fix everything. It's just, I'm not at my best, you see? But maybe we can find a way to replace my implants, or some other remedy, a better one. Lady von Valencia said that such a thing could be found, if not here, then elsewhere. I just didn't need it before, but we just need to fix it. We need to figure out where to look for it, and we'll get it. Until then, I'll keep myself on a tight leash. What'll happen to my crew while we look for this remedy? I want to help you, Idira. We'll think of something. Your worries do not interest me, but as long as you keep yourself under control and remain useful, you will live. I'm not going to kill you, but keeping you in the crew is dangerous. You'll be put under guard and escorted from the ship at the first orbital stop we come to. Like, the most correct answer... I guess the two correct answers is kill her. She's a unsanctioned psyker who called out into the warp. Probably the most correct dogmatic answer is to kill her. Another option that's not available here is call for the black ships for sent to Terra to go through sanctioning. Because she's useful. It's possible that she could be properly trained and sanctioned. And then maybe, I don't know how long that process takes, but maybe when that's finished, she could return. Like, does she need to die? Not necessarily. Although, I don't know if the sanctioning process, involves, hey, what have you done with your psychic powers in your life? And if they find out, yeah, I accidentally summoned a demon of an old friend, they'd probably just kill her anyway. What will happen to my crew while we look for this remedy? Idira swallows and straightens. I'll pull myself together, Lord Captain. The death of Lady von Valencius knocked me for 6. I'll get myself under control. No more booze, no more obscura, nothing. And I'll stop walking around the lower decks. I'll be stone cold sober. She determinedly wipes the tears and blood from her face. I don't know how addicting obscura is. I assume booze isn't terribly addicting, but probably minorly. The idea of her dealing with her grief while dealing with withdrawals while being a psyker, just like, I don't know. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't want to do it. I'm not going to just escort her off the ship. This is actually a hard decision for me. And I'm wondering how different this would play out if we were playing Iconoclast. Would we have Iconoclast options here instead? Or would this whole event play out differently? I don't know. Big no here, boom. I just can't do it. Killing off a party member goes against so much of how I play games. Like, I enjoy the roleplay aspect, but yeah, I can't kill her off. Particularly when she's not, like, actively trying to do evil. If she was, someone who was doing evil all the time for the fun of it, I wouldn't have as much of an issue, but it's like, she's not trying to hurt people. So Iconoclast would keep her and try to find a cure, Dogmatic would kill her, and Heretic would further her corruption. It's fair. I'm gonna keep her. It's not the Dogmatic option. It's probably gonna upset Argenta, but I just can't bring myself to kill her. We've been sort of walking the line between Iconoclast and Dogmatic, mainly Dogmatic, but I take several Iconoclast options. And so I'm gonna keep her. I want to help you, Idira. We'll think of something. We'll find some way to fix your implant, get you sorted out. You definitely need to drop the drugs if you can't control yourself. We'll sort it out. Idira covers her face with her hands and tries to hold back her sobs. Thank you, Ignatius. I won't let you down. You're making a mistake, Lord Captain. Perhaps you will find something to slow the decline, but it will not stop it. Only a miracle can save Idira to last now. Yeah, like she's already called out to the warp, already summoned demons. I don't think there's any way for that to get undone or... Yeah, long term, I think it is a decline that will keep going. And at some point, I probably will have to kill her. Or maybe there is a happy ending in Warhammer 40k, which I'm not holding out hope for, where we do find some magical cure that makes her fully in control and everything's happy. But I'm not banking on that. Idira awkwardly shakes out her stained clothing. I think I'm better. With your permission, Lord Captain. She sways, takes a step back, and faints. Yeah, happy endings in 40k. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. But I'm hoping. Lord Captain, the Voxmaster's shaking voice comes over the comm. I received a report that the shooting on the lower deck had stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control. Awaiting further instructions. I rid of the warp's illusions. Idira is alive. Bring her to the chirurgeons and have them see to her. Or everyone who is on the deck is dead, including the attackers. What happened was entirely the fault of Idira Tilas. Dispatch servitors here and put her out through the airlock. I'm sick of her antics. Can you imagine just... Yeah, I'm totally gonna help you. And then as soon as she faints, alright, throw her out the airlock. Bring her to the chirurgeons, have them see to her. You hear unconcealed relief in the Voxmaster's voice. Of course, Lord Captain, as you command. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily the right answer. It's the answer I went with. Instead of regular symbols and numbers, the screens display slanted script, almost resembling handwriting in an unknown language. Pascal, please unlock that for me.
Operation successful.
Battle Psyker boots. The wearer gains perception bonus dodge until the end of their next turn for each enemy affected by their psi powers or psyker staff attack. And stacks. I mean, I don't think any of our psykers have a huge perception. But other than that, that sounds really cool. Warp Conductor's gloves. Requires unsanctioned psyker or psychic awakening. After triggering a psychic phenomena or perils of the warp, where psi rating is increased by +1 until the end of combat, and where gains momentum and temporary wounds equal to their resolve. Huh. You kept all the companions alive in your first playthrough? That's what I'm hoping. But I do know that Owlcat tends to have strongly varied companions. Like I'm thinking of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, where some of those companions are just straight up evil. And on a good playthrough, it's really hard to justify keeping them around as they do terrible things. And I'm guessing we're going to get... Because currently, we've got a lot of dogmatic characters. Abelard's iconoclast, but he feels very dogmatic in his views. We've got a couple of iconoclasts. We have Jai, who is iconoclast, and Idira. But we don't really have any heretical companions yet. But when we do, I'm going to have a very hard time justifying keeping them around. And so I imagine at that point, I'm probably going to have to give up on those companions. Guardian Crown. The wearer gains plus 10 toughness. That's good. Once per combat, whenever the wearer's wounds drop below 35%, the wearer gains 12 wounds. Both of those are good. Or I guess both those abilities are good. We're going to put that on someone. So that's a head slot item. What do you have on? The wearer has 10 or more stacks of Blood Blessed. They gain +1 resolve. We basically never get Blood Blessed. Giving her more toughness could be good. Wearer of this helm gains +6% armor. The helmet also grants bonus to fellowship equal to 4. He doesn't even use his fellowship. +6% armor is okay. But I think I'd rather give him tons of toughness. Wearer gains 24 wounds. Okay, that's way better. On a dogmatic playthrough, is it hard to justify Idira? Are you talking long term? Because currently I don't have any major issues justifying. She's not actively trying to defy the God Emperor. She's just an unsanctioned psyker who doesn't have the control of a sanctioned psyker. Anyway, it's time to level up. So, what do we get? Grants +1 additional AP at the 20th character level. Okay. Is everyone going to get that? I don't know. 1 more AP sounds pretty cool. And then we can boost our stats, and we're going to go with willpower, I assume. Because we want to take that as high as we can get it. Cassia. You also get an additional AP, so yeah, I think everyone's going to get that, and a characteristic increase. Willpower and perception are good for her. I think I'll go with willpower for her as well. Pascal. At least it's a quick level. Intelligence is good for him. So is weapon skill. Weapon skill is better for combat. Intelligence is better for everything else. All of his tech use, logic. I guess mainly tech use and logic for him. Oh, and Lord Xenos. Maybe we'll give him weapon skill here. I assume we'll get another characteristic increase. Yeah, right there. That we can boost his intelligence. Regenta, we're going to give you... Wish she would stay over there so I can see her stats. Oh, she's going to get 2 things. We'll boost her ballistic skill. Because she's always missing. Or regularly missing. And then you actually get a talent. Nothing I've marked as good. That's a shame. +2 damage for single shot and air attacks of opportunity for 1 round. Litany of Purification. Some of these we ignored because we weren't really fighting demons much. And now we are. So I'm going to relook at them. All enemies in the area of effect of War Hymn or Furious Recital gain +1 stack of Disturbed effect. Enemies that are adjacent to Devotee gain +2 stacks. Also, all demons in the area effects suffer damage equal to the momentum restored to the devotee while using this ability. Tempting. Melee, flame, and melta attacks against demons and psykers gain additional +8 damage. I keep thinking I want to give her a flamer or a melta. But we don't have any good options yet. +8 damage, +24% armor penetration. Such attacks against xenos deal an additional +4 damage and gain +12% armor penetration. At some point, we'll probably give her a flamer or a melta. What does Flame Expert give? 1 less AP to use. Okay. And Melta Expertise would give us +4 maximum damage. Interesting options. We haven't found any Melta weapons yet. Yeah, none of that matters. I don't know. Not feeling a strong call to any of those. We could grab Melta weapon proficiency just so we're ready for when we find a Melta gun. That feels a bit premature. Or I could just boost her stats. Oh, we can't get ballistics from here. We could boost her agility as well, I suppose. I don't know, none of these talents are really calling out to me. Boost skills, but I don't care about that. I think we're just going to get, like, Litany of Purification. So that it's available next time we run into a demon. At some point we would have wanted that anyway, so might as well grab it now. So for you, your characteristic. Agility, probably? I think so. We could also justify weapon skill. They're thinking agility and perception. Why perception? Reduces enemy dodge chance against character attacks. Okay. I don't feel like enemies are dodging her attacks very often. I think I'm going to go with agility. Weapon skill would make her, like, single attacks better, but I think most of her Blade Dancer abilities are based on agility. Let's see if any of these are using specific stats. Not that I'm seeing, actually. Still, agility is probably fine. And then Abelard. You actually have some odd values to start out with. That's weird. Let's boost your weapon skill. Call that good for our level ups. Can't loot the demons. I guess that's fair. Whole bunch of basic knives. Was there anything here that I was wanting? Right, we had the Eldari sword that I was going to see if Jai wanted. We haven't looked at that yet. We could give this staff to Idira. What's our perception? 3. So we would gain 3% dodge until the start of their next turn for each enemy affected by their psi powers. I think the ones I have right now are fine. And then the bolter casing, Argenta. This would go into specifically that slot. Giving enemies slowed is fine. You don't have anything in that slot. So on the rare chance you fire your bolter, that can theoretically help you. Yeah, nothing up there. Let's loot the last few corpses. Some grenades. Blinding grenade, force grenade, force grenade. Sure.
In spite of your years, your body and spirit remain strong. Tell me, Amic Avalar, what do you do to train them?
Well, I spent a lot of time running back and forth after the Lord Captain, for a start.
It's about time.
So I think that was all stuff that happened as we were traveling the warp. So we should be at a new system to actually check out now. Which means I don't think we're actually getting to Janus in this this stream. I suppose I probably should have stopped to talk to Idira before we just carry on. Maybe Argenta as well. Come on, just go back to the ship's bridge. We were just there. Alright, Idira. I want to talk with you. When Idira sees you, her lips curve into a smile and she nods at something over your shoulder. What are you looking at over my shoulder? Have you recovered from your encounter with the false Theodora?
I'm not going to lie. I haven't. Maybe I never will. But I'm not hearing random voices anymore. And I haven't been calling anyone from the other side. No. All that's done with. After what you did for me, I can't let you down again.
Idira smiles softly, almost piteously. Very well, Idira. We will hope for the best.
Yes, sir, Lord Captain. We will.
Just take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Argenta, anything you want to say about my recent decisions?
Greetings.
No. Not super surprising that Argenta didn't have anything to say. I wonder what would have happened if Heinrichs had been part of that party. He probably would have strong opinions about an unsanctioned psyker as well. But didn't have him in the party, so no way to know. I keep thinking I want to swap back to Heinrichs rather than continuing to use Abelard, but haven't made the decision yet. So yes, I think we were planning to jump to Janus from here because we've already explored this system, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, this is Foulstone. Perfect. So yeah, let's jump to Helicos Epsilon. The warp jump went surprisingly smoothly. None of the deck officers on duty reported any incidents. However, a strange discovery awaited the Lord Captain when we returned to his quarters. The bed was unmade, and the impression of a head was still visible on the pillow. There were no other signs of intrusion. The guards swore under oath that nobody had entered the Lord Captain's quarters. The Imperium released us from its grip this time. Ooh, Foulstone has begun a new stage of development. Lord Captain, the world of Foulstone has been upset by a conflict between the followers of the Order of the Hammer and the refugees from the Winterscale dynasty's domain. An argument broke out near the tomb of the renowned holy man Nicodemus Keefe. Nicomedes Keefe, and the tomb was damaged in the fray. The pilgrims revering Keefe's rival, Philoppimenes of Malpi, claimed Keith to be a thief who had stolen the relics of Saint Cognatius and violated the sacred mystery of his resting place to sate his greed. The Order of the Hammer is furious at the heretical statements and the desecration of Keith's burial site. Who is this Nicomedes and Philippimenes? What is the issue here? Saint Nicomedes Keith is a missionary who arrived in the Expanse alongside the founders of the Order of the Hammer, offering them valuable guidance for colonizing Foulstone. He converted many worlds to the Imperial Creed, but his most famous feat was his search for the burial site of the legendary preacher, Saint Cognatius, who conquered the Expanse thousands of years ago, leaving behind scores of relics. Keith was able to track down some of these relics. The order was named after the power hammer of Saint Cognatius, Piety's charge. Philippimenes of Malpi is a priest from Winterscale's realm. He preached in the same time as Nicomedes Keith and denounced him for the false veneration of Saint Cognatius. He believed that Cognatius preached the incomprehensibility of the highest wisdom to the people, and that any attempts to learn it would only lead to heresy. He called the search for Saint Cognatius' burial site blasphemy, and the collection of relics looting and soliciting. In his opinion, the sacred object should not be congregated in one place, but should find haven across many worlds. The relics of power and their aggregation gives way to pride. Okay. So you've got two people alive at the same time. One who thought the best way to venerate a ancient saint was to collect all their relics and in one location. Another person thought they should just stay where they are and fall into random people's hands. I am leaning more towards the ones that collected them. What say my advisors? For a group that has just arrived in a foreign realm, the Malpians' conduct is insolent at best. Penance should be imposed on them. We will send them on a pilgrimage to find the relics of Saint Cognatius and to learn the ways of Saint Keith. In this way, they would be of use for returning the lost relics, and the Order of the Hammer would be satisfied with a just verdict. I like that. There was a similar theological dispute at the Fifth Ophelian Council, and the conflict between the two cults was resolved in sacred duel. 20 champions from each side came forward, both sides vowing to accept the victor's teachings if they lost. I propose to invoke the council's edicts and settle the dispute in the same way. You've got a monastery of heavily armed people versus a bunch of refugees. Like, you could propose that, but the solution would be obvious how that's going to play out. They believe that their faith is superior, then let them prove it. Subject them to a severe test of faith. If they survive it, then they will have proven their steadfastness. Even if the Order of the Hammer does not accept their arguments, it will be easier for them to recognize the newcomer's rights to interpret the way of Saint Cognatius if they prove it with their own blood and pain. I am not as big of a fan of that either. The Malpians have renounced the concept of possession. Their vows are true and similar to ours, but they lack humility and reverence for the dead. The Bloodsworn Web could embrace their leaders. We could teach them. We could soothe the turmoil. Turn them all into blood-spun assassins? I don't know about that. Heinrichs is right. The Malpian preachers belong to the Blood-spun Web now. We should follow the edicts of the Fifth Ophelian Council. Let them decide whose beliefs are just. Negotiate. The Malpians display impressive zeal. I charge the Order of the Hammer to welcome 100 of the new arrivals into their ranks. Let them learn one another's ways and come to accept their distinct paths towards the reverence of Cognatius. No, I like Heinrichs' plan. The newcomers who arrive shouldn't be immediately causing problems. They caused problems already, and we bailed them out by saying, okay, we're gonna, rather than you guys paying for your crimes, we're gonna just build you homes and protect you. And so they immediately go back to fighting with this monastery. It's like, no, guys, stop. So I'd say, yeah, we send them on a repentance pilgrimage to retrieve relics. They will not cause us any more trouble. I hope that's true. Several thousand refugees have been sent on a pilgrimage of penance to search for the relics of St. Cognatius. Many believe that it was just a way to get rid of these inconvenient people. No. The Order of the Hammer thanked the Lord Captain for his protection and staying true to the agreement between them. Okay, so we gain +1 security because we completed the High Throne, got the Profit Factor, and the Holy Gifts. So we now have +2 security, and we can start on a new project. Those are locked out, of course. So these have requirements of what? I don't see... If we click on them, it tells me what the requirement was. Reputation with the Drusians. Okay. So by requirements, they mean expenses are not available. I was wondering if these were things that required me to have chosen one of these other options, but it seems like these can be built later once we get enough reputation. So touched by holiness, St. Cognatius left behind many treasures that are now coveted by powerful men and women. Rogue trader Incendia Corda possesses the shards of a priceless combi tool bearing the saint's fingerprints. Formally reclaiming the relic via the Adeptus Administratum will be a bureaucratic war, requiring influential allies and nothing short of an army of clerks and scribes. But if it is passed into the safekeeping of the monks of the Order of the Hammer, it will be a great triumph for the faithful. I don't know if I want complacency. It increases our profit factor, which is nice, but decreases the speed that we build more projects. And long term, slowing down projects, I think, slows us down even if we do increase our profit factor. Indulgences for sale. Selling the forgiveness of the ecclesiarchy can be a significant source of revenue. Dude. Indulgences is such a awful thing from history. I don't know if I want that. The monks demand a great work. Thousands of faithful with skin entirely covered in scars in the form of lines from scripture about St. Cognatius. Wait, they're wanting to scar people with scripture? Thousands of people? That's a thing. We are dogmatic enough to go for it. We would have to pay provisions. But it would give us even more dogmatic, and we would gain benevolent protection feature. All allies increase their wounds by our lore Imperium. Divide by 15. I don't think our lore Imperium is particularly impressive. And then we can't do rank 3 yet. I mean, touched by holiness seems fine, but I don't care about complacency. Indulgence is +1 profit factor and 2000 RP. It doesn't feel like a project. It's just like, hey, you guys can sell forgiveness. Go to. I think I'm going to go with this one. As weird as it is to scar people with scripture, this seems to be a thing that everyone is down for and everyone agrees with. So let's go for it. We will scar 1,000 people with scripture. Why not, you know? Then we can't work on a new one because another project is in progress. Okay. And I think we will hold off actually stepping in to this system until next time. So we'll end the stream here. And next time we will actually visit Telecos Epsilon and see what's going on with Janus. So yeah, thanks for being here everyone and watching, and I will see you next time when we figure out what's going on at one of our main core worlds. See you then. Bye.